Hello, what is up, YouTube? This is Cart5000 here with more facts of what you didn't know about Pokemon. And this is part 5, starting off with Shellder. Sadly, it still doesn't have any. Can't find stuff about certain Pokemon, just so you know. Anyway, Cloyster. It shares a couple similarities with Starmie. It is based on a marine invertebrate, evolves with a water stone, and only a 2-stage evolution. So I guess you could consider it a counterpart. In the Pokemon Adventures manga, Loreley's Cloyster has a gem-like circle positioned in the center of its forehead. Cloyster's name might be mixed from the words clam and oyster. But moving on to Gastly, which doesn't have any, so moving on to Haunter. Gastly, and Gengar are the only Ghost-type Pokemon from the Kanto region. And speaking of Kanto region, there are absolutely 0 Dark types. So the Dark type didn't even exist in Kanto. Moving on to Gengar. Even though it can sneak within shadows, it cannot learn Shadow Sneak. Even though it's not a Poison type, it cannot learn Poison type moves by level up. It does learn 2 attacks by TM, 2 by breeding, and 1 from a prior evolution. Gengar is one of the only 3 Stage 2 Ghost-type Pokemon. Dusknoir, by that I mean evolved 3 times. The others being Dusknoir and Chandelure. Let's see, Gengar evolves from Haunter, which evolves from Gastly. Dusknoir evolves from Dusclops, which evolves from Duskull. Chandelure evolves from Lampent, which evolves from Litwick. Unlike most Pokemon, a shiny Gengar has a small physical difference from normal Gengar in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. In dead games, the spikes on shiny Gengar's back are shaped differently. Gengar is actually 4 inches shorter than Haunter, being at 4'11". Haunter is at 5'3". Even though it's an evolved form, it is shorter. I think that's one of the very rare times that happened. Gengar and its pre-evolutions are the only Ghost types to have a weakness to Psychic type attacks, as Ghost and Fighting have never existed. They're also the only Poison types to have a weakness to Dark type attacks, as there have been no Psychic and Poison types. This is because no other Pokemon has the same type combination yet. A Gengar may have been based on Oni, a creature of ancient Japanese folklore that is said to float invisibly above cities, bringing anything from a natural disaster like an earthquake to a terrible disease. There's a theory stating that Gengar may be a shadow of Clefairy. They are a little bit similar. Look on a side-by-side viewer. This is because they have similar physical appearance and because Gengar's name originates from the term doppelganger, copy of someone else. So that makes it almost sure thing. But anyway, Onix. Ever heard of the Crystal Onix? It is in the anime episode The Crystal Onix. I think it's from Kanto. Undershow is Izuka, the actor best known for playing Professor Oak in the Japanese version of the anime. Voices Onix and Steelix in Japanese and English language versions of the anime. But moving on to Drowsy. It is creepy, because it says it puts enemies to sleep, then eats their dreams, and then gets sick from eating it. And then that was from Red and Blue. Then from Ruby, if your nose becomes itchy while you are sleeping, it is a sure sign that one of these Pokemon is sitting above your pillow and trying to eat your dream through your nostrils. It's very creepy. Drowsy's voice in the anime closely resembles Bela Lugosi, whose character in Dracula routinely manipulates his victims by controlling their minds. Hypno. Hypno's cry is just random. See what I mean? Hypno's Dex entry tells about it accidentally taking a child away. A shirt was released in Japan showing it doing this very thing. Because of it, it has become part of the creepypastas, usually referred to as Hypno's Lullaby. Hypno's voice in the anime bears a striking resemblance to Peter Lorre's. I found that out recently. Now for Krabby. I like making that noise. It's funny. Sorry, I didn't have any for him. Kingler. The size of the Kingler's claw and its size in general resemble the real-life fiddler crab. If we get a fiddler crab, could I name it Kingler? Voltorb. Yay, we hit the big 100. The big 100 doesn't have any facts, so Electrode. Electrode and Voltorb are similar to a battery. One side could be positive and the other could be negative. When it evolves, it could flip and its face will move. Electrode and Voltorb are mistaken as the Pocket Monsters mascot because they are very, 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 very similar to a Pokeball, except they have eyes. If you look at Voltorb, it looks like a Pokeball, and Electrode looks like an upside-down Pokeball. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, if the player has an Electrode traveling alongside them, they talk to it inside the Rocket Hideout, they may receive a message saying, Electrode is trembling. That's possibly because it's scared or agitated, because Team Rocket are using Electrode to power their machine. Spoiler alert. As for the Electrode that can be captured inside the Rocket Hideout, it's possible they are remembering the treatment they endured when enslaved. Execute. Shout out to Friend. He has the most weaknesses in the game, tied with the devolved form, Executor, Snover, Abomasnow, and Celebi. Execute and Chansey share the same Pokemon species, but both are known as the Egg Pokemon. The broken egg on Execute has a face on the back of its head, shown in the Japanese red and green versions, and in My Pokemon Ranch. Execute's sprite in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire is almost the exact same one as in Pokemon Silver. And now Executor, who has another random cry. Oh yeah, forget I had this window open. So let me just... I noticed that all the Kanto Pokemon have like beeps. It and Executor are the only grass and psychic dual types besides Celebi, and that is why they are tied for most weaknesses. During episode 43, but I forget what season, the magician Melvin evolved his Execute without the usage of a leaf stone. Cubone. This one has a really long one, but probably not as long as Kangaskhan. The appearance of a Cubone's bone resembles that either of a broken leg, bone, or tendon. Cubone and Marowak are the only Pokemon that can learn Bone Club and Bone Meringue. Well, in Generation 1, they were the only ones that can learn Bone Club, but now it's Tutor. That was a shout out to a friend because he only plays the 4 games, and he didn't know about the newer ones. Wrong one. Read the wrong one. The first one should come first, for it to make sense. There's a popular belief that a Kangaskhan whose mother dies takes her skull and one of her bones and becomes a Cubone, which evolves into Marowak and then Kangaskhan. Some also believe that was how it was originally intended, and instead of deleting the Marowak Kangaskhan code, they removed it to an empty slot, and that created M. And 2 facts supporting. M has the same palette as Marowak and can evolve into Kangaskhan. The supported reason for not deleting M's data is because the game programmers didn't have enough time. Marowak doesn't evolve into Kangaskhan, supposedly because that would cause complications. Cubone and its evolution are the only single-type Pokemon that can have the ability Lightning Rod and aren't an electric type. Cubone's beta name was Orphan because its mother died. But moving on to Marowak, if we had Cubone, Marowak, and Kangaskhan are all in that theory. Marowak and its pre-evolution from 3 generations were the only 2 Pokemon to have signature attacks. Bone Club, Bone Meringue, Bone Rush. Sorry, Generation 3. I just got that call from my friend. I just noticed it was on his sheet. Sorry about that. I didn't see it. I was just looking for it. Marowak's name comes from the word combo of marrow, a substance in bones, and whack. Now its name translates to Bone Whack. 3 bones appear in the Nacrene City Museum. A plate on the base of the display says the bones used to be wielded by a Pokemon. That refers to Marowak or Cubone. Ghost Pokemon in Lavender Town is the only wild Pokemon that cannot be caught by normal gameplay and no cheating. Even though Marowak is now a Ghost type, it shares the trait of a Ghost type in Generation 1 and 3. Marowak was originally supposed to evolve into Kangaskhan, but this was changed right before Red and Blue were released, just for no complications' sake. Hitmonlee. Its name refers to Bruce Lee, Hitmonchan to Jackie Chan. Its shiny and regular color resemble boxing gloves of the traditional colors of the boxing gloves. Little Mac came from the game Punch-Out, weighs 107 pounds. Same number as Hitmonchan's Pokédex number. Moving on to Lickitung. Yay! Long tongue. Its 6-foot long tongue and its tail are possibly connected. Moving on to Coughing. Even though Coffee's guy is rotten kitchen garbage, you cannot learn Gunk Shot. And it involves the description saying the user shoots filthy garbage at the foe. Coughing's name, Dokers, is sung in Roxy's gym in the background in the Japanese version, while in the English version, Pokemon is sung instead. In Pokemon Red and Blue, Coughing's skull and crossbones on its body appear above its face, rather than below its face. Coughing is a homophone for coughing. Coughing. Hee hee. Wheezing does not have any. So I'm just going to skip the picture right to Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn's cry in the video games is the same as Charizard, with a different pitch. Rhyhorn is the 13th ground type and 5th rock type in the Pokédex order. Unlike the other rock ground type Pokemon in Generation 1, Rhyhorn and Rhydon have ground as their primary type and rock as their secondary. Moving on to Rhydon, which was originally meant to be the first Pokemon. It's based off of Rhinoceros. Oh yeah, it's also 6'3". Chansey. It's their same species as Execute. Tangela. Despite having vines, in Red and Blue, it could not learn Vine Whip. It was the only pure grass type in Generation 1. Its original name was Medusa, which was inspired by Medusa, because it has many pieces of hair, I guess. It's the first pure grass type in Pokédex order. It is the only non-Generation 2 Pokemon that evolves only when knowing ancient power. Well, not counting Piloswine. It's the only one that isn't captured by a main character in the Sinnoh series. Moving on to Kangaskhan, this one should take a while, so I'm going to do it next episode. See you guys next time.